right.
Oh my gosh, I was
Pick
busy
one.
watching
Pick
you and
one.
listening to you at the same time.
Pick one. Pick one. Pick one. I'm struggling. You know what? I saw that halo over my head. Look at it. Just won't go away. You mentioned that. I
No,
mean,
is that a chakra? I'm not sure.
Michael Bryant, I have a question for you. Okay, I'm going to start out very, very calm. Okay, very calm.
Okay, all right.
Are we watching the effing Zapruder film here that we're going to pick out every single frame?
Forward and back.
Okay,
Forward and back.
The only thing that he hasn't done is get software, which they have, because I use it in accident reconstruction cases where you can have how many frames there are per second in a frame and cut it down by that.
30, by the way.
It's 30. Yeah. Okay. What I've learned is that sometimes it can vary, but 30 is a good thing. So maybe he should do that. Maybe he should go over the weekend, and I'm talking about Mr. Lewin, get the software, break the frames out to 30 frames. 30. Mine's doing that too. Hello, Domino. I think Domino's upset. 30 frames a minute, and we can go 30 frames a minute so that we are not done this decade, that we are done in a decade that, see, you and I won't even be around by the time it goes. All right. So welcome back, everybody. Here we are. Spread the word. We're here to answer your questions and give your comments. And let me show some of your comments. Maria, Rocky is a righty. He's holding the gun behind his back of his hand. Now, you notice that when, and I know you've got clips to play, but I just want to give you, because I play poker, okay? Whenever he doesn't get the answer, that's the one to the question he wants. And I think that Relli's keeping us calm, doing a good job. He says, after Relli answers how he knows his truth, right, or what he saw, Lewin will say, what I'm asking is, or what I'm really asking is, all right, and then because he's trying to get the answer he wants, not the answer that may be the truth, all right, and I'm really having a problem with this. The judge, Relli can ask for a $30 million bag, can lie on the stand, and the prosecutor, before he puts Relli on, I'll guarantee you, didn't cross Relli like he crossed this guy. And that's what defense attorneys complain about all the time. They complain about the double standard in prosecutions, where prosecutors can put witnesses on that lie and fabricate and expand the truth, okay? And I'm not necessarily talking about Relli in himself, but when you get to the defense witnesses, all of a sudden, they're like the devil. And they got to sit there for days enduring a cross-examination that really is, quite frankly, in my opinion, ridiculous. But now that I'm calm,
glad you got that out of your system. Yeah, you can tell when he goes on and on and on, repeating the same thing over and over until he gets what he thinks is an arguable answer that he can use in his closing. He's digging because it's a crap case. Hey, this is totally off base here and weird, but why in the last day or so has my image been backwards for what it used to be? I don't know if you noticed this. It was yesterday when it changed.
On the other side.
Now, well, not only that, but my image, like my buddy here, Bones, is now on the opposite side of the frame.
Not when I'm looking.
Everything was this. Everything. If you go back and look at a couple of our shows, everything is the exact opposite in virtually all of them until a day or so ago. Anyway, I digress.
Your buddy there without the top hat.
Yeah, he used to be over. Yeah, he used to be.
Anyhow, right hand. Was he holding the gun? The right hand, the left hand. Is the frame reversed? Is the frame not reversed? Okay. Yes. So let's take you.
Maybe this is. Oh, I got it. I think this video was handled by the Commonwealth in Massachusetts, and it's been inverted. That's what it is. I knew there was something goofy going on here. Speaking of that, and we'll get to it in a little bit here. I did the interview with the attorney for Gretchen Voss, who in the Karen Reed case, of course, was the one who interviewed Karen Reed, and her attorney pulled off kind of a miracle by getting a motion to reconsider as it related to producing her notes for the prosecution. He got that basically reversed, got Judge Bev to say, I've changed my mind. So we'll have just a teeny snip of that, and then we'll post the entire interview after we're done here tonight. So can't agree with you more, obviously. Lewin is just, while I appreciate his zealousness, he truly is a zealous representative for his client, in this case, the state of California. He's just as annoying as hell. And that doesn't play. I try to put myself in the box, with the jury members and think, okay, I see where he's trying to go. He's hitting a wall, maybe like Relli did. And he just keeps circling back to the same stuff. The judge is getting annoyed, and I think the judge, as well as anybody else, as well as us, is a good barometer for what the jury's probably feeling, and that is, let's move it along, pal. We get it. We either believe the point you're trying to make or we don't, but let's move along. So.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, but this whole thing with the gun is down in the left hand. I mean, he can talk about it all, and at one point, Tacopino objected. Let's show some context to the frame, because you take a freeze frame, but things are moving. Everything is moving, right? Fast, right?
And it looks like.
And Lewin says, "I'm going to show what I want to show." Right?
Well, yeah, that's because Twelvyy. Mr. Phillips is asking for some context himself. Let me. No. Well, I understand this is your cross-examination, sir, but the witness is asking for some clarification, or the witness is just going to say, "I don't know." The witness has done so much better than he could have done. He could have just started saying, "I don't know. I'm not sure what you're saying. I can't understand. I don't. Where are we? I just can't. What you're asking me, I can't respond to." But he's been trying to help. Give me some context for this. Right. Here's what Lewin doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to hear that there is a way to interpret this video which is bad for Relli. Okay? And we know that I keep calling him Illy. Is that right? Is it Illy?
Ills.
I have some video of Ills. I got some video of Ills. And AWGE. Although you know what AWGE is, right?
That's the question.
Do you know what
now?
AWGE is?
I did not know at the time. Okay. That was a big.
I did some research on AWGE.
That was a high point today. Is that we heard the defendant? Well, I didn't. Quite frankly, I didn't hear anything because I was so busy listening to Lewin double back on questions. But why don't you tell us what happened here?
Okay, I want to show you some AWGE. Can I show you some AWGE?
Yeah,
this is just. I just decided to check into this because I really wasn't sure. Here we go. So here's their website, AWGE, right? So press start. Okay, and then here's your basic menu of sorts. So if you go into the about, here's what AWGE is about. Never reveal what AWGE means. When in doubt, always refer to rule number 1. They just stole the Fight Club shtick, is what they did. Remember the movie Fight Club?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With Brad Pitt and Ed Norton Jr.?
Yeah, Ed Norton.
I think it was Brad Pitt in there, right? Ed Norton Jr.?
It was definitely Ed Norton.
Yeah, the thing is, there's no such thing as Fight Club, and, that's the Fight Club bit. So here's Ills. This is ASAP Ills. This is only slightly less grainy there than what the jury has seen, but there's a kind of a better shot of ASAP Ills on the AWGE website, and I think he's listed as a producer and I think an artist. And then the other one I highlighted was Rocky. The one you won't see on here is A$AP Relli, no longer on the website.
Well, go back to that. Never revote. Go back to that, because then it seems to me, if Rocky said when Relli is being questioned about AWGE and he says he doesn't know, and then Rocky says words to the effect of what? Don't say. He says those words, right? No, don't answer the question or something like that. That's what the website says. So Rocky is now answering. Yeah. Rocky is now answering the question that the witness says he doesn't know what the answer is. Right? So now it makes perfect sense to me.
Yes, it is. See there. Let me go to the right there. There you go. Never reveal what AWGE means. When in doubt, always refer to rule number 1. Never, Yeah. What's Fight Club? There is no Fight Club. Okay.
And then when Mr. Phillips said, I know what the brand is, I just don't know what the acronym stands for.
Yeah. Well, nobody does. So it's kind of a funny moment, because I don't think Lewin knows what the word game is.
Right. But people interpret on the internet. Some people interpret, that was not a good look for the defendant. Okay. Hey, the problem is now, this is kind of like he's like, you don't reveal what it is. I'm sitting here, I'm watching hours of cross-examination on something that's irrelevant. There was a funny moment though
Yes.
with the jury that kind of shows you the jury likes Mr. Phillips, right?
This the LA reference.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll set this up. So Lewin is going into here's Lewin's overall picture is you're bought off. You're bought and paid for by Rocky, by the defendant. Didn't he fly you here in a private jet? Well, no, I just flew in on a normal jet.
Oh,
Wasn't
right.
first class or anything. Well, you're in a nice hotel, right? And don't give the name. Well, it's okay. It's nice. I'm in downtown LA. And then there begins this little mini discussion on hold on a second here, on LA. And it's a little bit hard to hear some of it, but we can flesh it out for you. Those of us who know downtown LA will certainly agree.
Right.
Saturday.
And where you staying right now?
Downtown at a hotel.
And I don't want you to give me the name, but it's a nice hotel, I assume?
It's a cool hotel.
And
it's downtown LA. You know the area downtown LA is crazy.
yeah, unfortunately, I can't answer your question.
Understanding.
What did he say? What did he say there?
And then the judge chimes in at the end. So what he says is, and I'll play it one more time just so that we can follow along. He says, yeah, the hotel's cool, but downtown LA is crazy. And
The jury laughs.
Lewin, yeah, everybody laughs because they know, and it's honest. And Lewin basically says, well, I can't really comment about that. And then Twelvyy says, but you understand. And everybody laughs again. And then the judge says, yes, we do. So it's just kind of a slam on LA. Let's see if we can run it back and you can pick that up.
Okay.
No, hold on a sec.
Downtown at a hotel.
And I don't want you to give me the name, but it's a nice hotel, I assume?
It's a cool hotel.
And
it's downtown LA. You know the area downtown LA is crazy.
yeah, unfortunately, I can't answer your question.
Understanding.
What was that?
You understand? We all do.
You understand? The judge says,
Yeah, and
the judge says we all do.
He says, Lewin says, what was that? The jury is laughing.
Yeah.
But the jury is laughing along with Mr. Phillips. He's laughing along with Twelvyy. They're not laughing at him. They're laughing along with him.
No, they're laughing like you would when a friend says something you all understand and relate to.
Right. So I to me, that was a very important moment there, that it told you like kind of where the jury's at. Now, I think that Lewin's decided that this case rises or falls because it can't rise or fall on his victim. It rises or fall on whether or not this is a made up, and we know it because that's where there was agita between Tacopino and Lewin earlier in the week. Remember, on whether or not this is a prop or starter pistol. In other words, some kind of non-real gun versus a real gun, and they're lying about it. That's where I think Lewin's decided it rises or falls, and therefore that's where he's going to stay for the next 12 hours.
That and who was the aggressor, because he's really trying to focus on the fact that despite Relli being larger, that it's truly Rocky that was the aggressor here. See, he has his hand around him, and you see that freeze frame where it looks like he has a gun in his hand, although it's pretty bad. It's very hard to see, but it looks like maybe his hand and maybe a gun is maybe somewhere near Relli's midsection. That's as far as I would go.
Put it down. I actually
and it's also moving. But that freeze
moving.
Oh, everybody is moving, and Ills is trying to step in and break it up. Now the question becomes: is he pulling Relli away because Relli's the aggressor, or is he trying to pull Relli away from Rocky because Rocky's the aggressor? And it's so hard to tell from the video. Either could be true. So that means the jury's left with Mr. Phillips' version of what happened that night, because Relli, they can't believe anything from that dude. So will they believe Mr. Phillips when he says that it was Ills trying to step in and just separate them, and Relli was the aggressor? They believe him, then bye-bye prosecution.
Yeah, well, also you do see, and I'm wearing, I know you wore this hoodie because of this thing. I wore this hoodie specifically because if we went back and played that, Relli has Rocky grabbing the two portions of the hood. You see it, okay? And that's why he said that Relli was the aggressor, because he reached up and grabbed Rocky with this, and he almost lifted him off the ground, just like you're much stronger than I am.
He actually said that he did. He actually said that he did lift him off the ground.
Right. And so, if somebody, I'm out there walking to be the poodle, and somebody grabs me by this and lifts me off the ground, I'm going to try to fight back, right? I'm going to with whatever I have, So so there was a reason for the hoodie with the skulls today, so that we could do a little demonstration on it. So Jenny has a question, Michael.
Yeah, worrying about whether Twelvyy is being impeached in any way. Twelvyy is solid. How do you think he impeached himself, according to Lewin? I didn't pick up anything he impeached him on. I think he made some of his testimony less certain, but I don't see any impeachment per se.
Yeah. I thought Twelvyy did a great job, actually. I think.
Yeah, I'll take Twelvyy any day. As a witness, and I don't mean even in comparison to not to Relli. I mean just in general. I just think he's a solid witness. He and Wally both, I think, were solid witnesses, and what a surprise, they're both defense witnesses.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, I think it was an issue. He's going to bring him back on Monday. He's going to let this poor guy stay all weekend. And what is he going to do on Monday? Well, let me see. Let me do. What do you want to make a guess he's going to do on Monday? The same thing?
Yeah. Well, he's going to. The judge hopefully will make him move along into another topic. But let's. Maybe he's got another hour. Who knows? And then we'll see if Joey T has. I don't know that he's got a lot of fixing to do. I
don't think he's got any fixing. And I get up and say, read it right. None needed, Your Honor.
Yeah, that would be amazing, because attorneys. It's better, you, me, him. Yeah, there's always, it's so hard not to ask a question. It's just so hard. But he wouldn't hurt himself by just saying, "We're good."
Yeah, none needed. Yeah, we're good, because he hasn't gone off his thing.
He hasn't landed any blows.
No, and if anything, the questions sometimes were confusing, but they were meant to confuse him. That's what I get. What I'm asking is, I don't get the answer. What I'm asking is, and that's what he was asking.
Yeah. What I really mean is, let me work it around this way. And he had another moment where he's kind of adding, his cultural ignorance, or maybe just being a jerk. But Lewin would say, you keep saying, "You feeling me? You feeling me?" That part of the vernacular of a rap artist, a lot of people, and it just means, do you get it? Are you following? Right? And Lewin made a point of saying, I don't understand. I don't understand what that means. Why make that comment? It's just, and then later, as he's continuing his cross-examination, Lewin is asking Phillips, "Do you follow me?" That's the same thing as "you feeling me." It's the same thing.
You follow me. It's.
You get it. You understand.
You talked to Gen Z lately, Jenny. According to the chat of a person who came after JSTV, that's us, for the statement saying it was across the century. Oh boy, I won't even go there. I'm not going to get into the gutter with that, Jenny. Thank you for letting us know. But
that tells you all you need to know.
That's
really, right there. Whoa!
If you think this is across of the century. Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm not going to continue on that vein. Okay, so anyway,
thank you for letting us know, though.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we?
You have some other clips. Oh yeah, thank you. I get a kick out of you all too, because you're all so honest in your questions and all. It's Missy. Our Missy says, and she had to stay on as playing all day, and we went back to work a little bit. The case is driving everyone crazy, especially the judge. I think the judge at one point, I thought he was going to charge the $1,500, and he did, but they got back to speaking objections later in the afternoon.
Seems like they got a little loose, a little bit looser in the afternoon. And again, we'll see if it's really $1,500. Is it going to be $500? Is it going to be, okay, you guys cleaned it up, so I'm going to waive any sanctions? Right. Who knows? Right. But at least he stepped it up. We talked the other day about it's just no, stop. You can only do that so many times, and then you got to put your kid in the corner. You can only say stop doing that so often. You got to go to your room. So that's at least the judge's effort to step it up.
Yeah, I wonder how much the case is costing taxpayers. They tend to break that down afterwards, but it's never real because they never put in detective salaries and pensions and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. They
Right.
just put in what the actual cost is, like to run the courtroom or things like
Yeah,
that.
and that's
So you
it's a dot of a number. That's nothing
right,
compared to what it really is.
what it actually
Yeah.
really is. But the the judge is out there and he's trying to keep control of it. I mean, Joe Tacopina is only objecting. I think Joe Tacopina likes the fact that Twelvyy is coming across as real and honest. And so he doesn't want to object or interject too much. It's only when the question's asked about 75 times and he says objection, asked and answered, and all, or something like that. But I think he likes the fact. But I think he also thought that maybe if he didn't object too much, he'd be finished today. Right? The cross.
Will he finish today?
No, he didn't finish it.
No, he just said we'll pick it up on Monday.
Yeah,
we'll pick this up on Monday. So another related question as to the cost, and again, we don't know, but this particular question from Nicola adds a little commentary. When the attacker fell and scraped his hand and now claims to be a victim, I think we know how she's going to vote if she's on the jury.
Yeah, well, we ran a poll earlier, didn't we? We ran a poll.
Yeah, we had one just during the stream, right? Do we have the final numbers on that? I know it was, I think it was like 100% of all those that voted. And the question was,
it went down a little
wasn't
bit.
it like did it go to fall below that?
96 to 4%, 96%
check.
4%. Who was more believable, Relli or Twelvyy? I assume that, all the people that were supporting, that are supporting a certain lean of certain people came in to vote in our poll because, I just don't see it now. Could a juror think
be a hung jury?
We only need is one to hang a jury, right? Or that's all you need. Oasis Cat says, like the Fight Club. That's what I didn't know what it was, but that's it's interesting because that makes sense as to why Rocky would blurt it out, and because I was here working, blurting things out like, oh, objection, oh, come on, oh, this is ridiculous, this is tiring. I can't imagine how tired Twelvyy is. And remember, he can't talk to anybody in the middle of his cross-examination.
Right. So for the weekend, in theory, he's stuck in downtown LA, just kind of hanging out, and not a fun place to be, downtown LA, for the weekend. That's when the creatures come out. So, yeah.
So Jesus says prop gun won't work. Can be found guilty on lesser charges.
We don't know of any lesser included, do we? I don't think there are any lesser included.
I don't think there are any lesser included right now.
Yeah.
Kay Schmidt, thank you so much. You have gifted 5 more memberships to Justice Serve TV. That's terrific.
Thank you. So nice.
It's so nice and so generous of you and all. This is a great point. Here for the tea. Yeah, we were spilling some tea this week. We'll see where we go. If there's anything else we can get, we think we still have the best tea in the world. They think Twelvyy pointing out that Rocky is right-handed and the gun is in his left hand was a great point. I do too. I think that was a terrific.
Yeah. And he also talked about how it was barely out, and in his opinion, as he recalls it was barely removed before it was put back in. So how that equates to 2 shots getting fired in any direction, I don't know, but it certainly helps the defendant.
Oh, Jenny, I missed this. Did you not see the very end? Lewin had another hissy fit because the judge put a 90-minute timer on Lewin cross on my. I didn't see that.
No.
Good for you, Judge.
Was that broadcast, or was it just audio? Because they almost immediately went to the Seal of California.
Right, exactly.
But, 90 minutes, even that. I mean, come on. How's he going to kill another 90 minutes with his
he'll find a way. What I'm really asking is now, he's a tough attorney. He's a tough attorney. There's no doubt about it. But if you try to trip somebody else up, Twelvyy's saying what he knows. He knows what he knows. I mean, and he said, well, how do you know it's a prop gun? He basically, he didn't even say that he was told. He said, well, I just kind of, that's the way it was from when we were at the, it's just always the way it's been. And he went where we did. Well, if you're really attacked, is a prop gun going to yeah, scare somebody. Well, the thing is, they don't know if it's a prop gun. He said, yeah, sure. You show a gun and they could run away.
And that was interesting because the question then becomes, well, did Relli know it was a prop gun? And if he did, would he have been scared? No. So it just muddies that water even further. Relli was aware that he had a prop gun, therefore he would chase after him because he knew he couldn't be hurt by that.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
And the interesting part is the whole thing about the pants being lifted up and the gun falling down.
I've told these damn kids to wear a belt. Pants should, no pants falling off. The gun just aggravates that problem.
But Lewin kind of at the very end.
Is right.
But not going there. Okay. Lewin kind of aggravated that point at the very end because he kept pushing Twelvyy. I'm telling you, he kept lifting, the pants were loose, and he said, "Are you saying to me the gun was falling out and he had to grab it because the pants were loose?" Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. Well, and therefore it makes sense, right?
If your pants are that loose and you have a gun in there, it'll help tighten the pants. So if the gun comes out, the pants are looser, they're going to fall down.
Yeah, especially if you're being lifted up. And so it's kind of interesting. That's why he said the gun's always pointed down. He's trying to get it back into his pants and all. But you don't see what happens off. You don't see what happens off the camera. And Relli, not Relli, Twelvyy's trying to tell Lewin, and Lewin's going to say, "Yo, but I want to show you this frame." But hey, wait a second. He said, "I was there. I'm trying to tell you." Yeah. And then he said, "No, but what I'm asking is."
And that's why Lewin would say, You see that there? And he said, "No, I saw it that night. I was there. I don't see it in that picture, but I was there."
Oh my gosh. You really want to go. You're really putting your office on the line for Relli. Okay. Their jeans, in case Schmidt said, the jeans are always falling off. It's their styles. It's I see it in New York. I mean, the young kids,
of course it is. And I see these, and I study this. It's just, they'll have the boxers on. I don't know if that's because if their pants fall down, they have better coverage. But the boxers, and then have to be like 5-6 inches of those boxers showing.
Right.
And the pants, and I'm looking at them. How do those pants stay up when you're walking? I just don't. There's nothing there to hold up your pants. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I'm showing my common sense. Is it really worth it? That fashion statement? I think you just look stupid. So, anyway.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is great. Sunshine H-Town _ I'm still stuck on the fact, and this is what a good pickup this is. I miss this. That Relli said he was a lefty. Then day 6, he said his dominant hand was his right. This guy just lies about anything and everything. Shaking my head. Very interesting that he knew that there was a problem with the gun being handled. With the video, and he's trying to get around it. That's a really interesting pickup. I wonder if, I assume the defense team also has picked that up, right? Because, interesting. So now what does Lewin do? Go out and get videos to try to show that Rocky has some ambidextrous.
He's ambidextrous.
If he is,
Well, if that's true, yes. Why not do it? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Michel Bryant, for giving 5
No problem. I thought that was you. I thought you were doing that. Wait a minute.
Thank you very much. And we've got like 20 new memberships in the last couple of days, 25 new memberships. It's really great. And I'm still working on some of the things for the members. I know you've been taking the laboring oar on that.
Well, yeah, because everybody's very excited about my DIY project. I have a few things I'm going to post from the last trip up north. So just some really interesting little things like what happens, how the crowd reacts when Hank Brennan arrives at the courthouse.
Wow.
And how the crowd reacts. Well, the crowd, it's, free Karen Reed, but how they arrive, how they react when any of the defense team comes in. It is very funny. And they're all characters, and they all have, nicknames, Hanky Panky and,
somebody says Spanky.
Yeah. So, I'll post those. I keep forgetting to do that. I'll post those in the member notch.
In the members, and all. So, and we've been so busy on these cases, we haven't been able to get our solving the crime thing ready. But we will. Maybe March now instead of February. But that's because February is going by. And by the way, today you asked me what our snow estimate is for here. It's now up to 5 inches.
It's up to 5, which means we'll
Yeah,
be
by Sunday.
8 to 10.
So,
Oh, goody.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, can't wait for an update. Afton says, yeah, they're waiting for you, Michael. They're waiting for you. I did one. I was freezing up in Harvard.
Freezing. Yeah, let me take you to a couple of my locations. Oy.
Yeah.
I am so glad that we're moving into warmer weather because when we do these Where in the World remotes, much more pleasant. March 4th up there, that shouldn't be horrible. Can we go either way, but shouldn't be horrible anyway.
Okay, so we have some new people joining us here. Khadijah, today was good because I learned today Telly, I can't see. Is that Telly? Telly started all this with his IG rant. Relli started all this IG rant. All the phone call was because of that. Why Rocky told Jabari I don't mess with him because of that. And it is because remember Relli was ranting, you're not paying for this, you're not paying for that. And turns out, ASAP was, ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, that was the Josh funeral expenses.
And all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
like I said, I think that was a triggering event, even if Relli was wrong about it. I think that was the problem.
Yeah, Tamika Jones, 12 also said that when the gun came out, Rocky grabbed the gun with his left hand when he's right-handed, which is true. Oh boy, it's snowing in other places, okay? And yet Missy has air conditioner running. Okay, so actual life is snowing at the UK. In Texas, in Texas you have your air conditioning running.
Yeah, because remember they were crying about a week or so ago because they got a flake of snow. So I understand.
Yeah, no, the judge has had enough. Dizzy says, commenting on lockouts. The judge was over it today. Yeah, yep. I thought by the very end he was. At one point, actually, I thought he had like dozed off. I looked down. I actually took a screenshot. It looked like he had dozed for just that second when you have something and you're listening, but your eyes just close for 1 second. You go up. I thought maybe he did that. We were all well. There's no. What do we teach when we teach trial advocacy? You're trying to make a point. Everything can't be monotone. You have to use your posture, which I can't do. And
punctuate. Yep.
You have to punctuate. You have to use your voice tone. It all can't be monotone and the same thing over and over and over, because then you lose what may be important.
The judge was noting, and I think he does for the most part, the questions, the flow. There was a question by Lewin that was just a mess. It was just a blob of words, and it went back and forth like, do you remember when he told you that he said earlier, and the judge was physically did this, like he was
I love it.
He said this. So I think he's hanging in there, for the most part.
I know. I like the judge. I mean, I think he's got a lot to handle, and he's handled it. He's got two big personalities to handle. He's got a high-profile case, and I think he's handled it. Now, I preferred that he would have given a directed verdict, but I understand why not, because judges want the jury to decide. Why take something out of the jury's hands when they've been there the whole time? Khadijah 12V was so good today. I call Relli Telly. Oh, that's why. Very
I
good.
see. All right.
Because he's up there lying.
He's telling his story.
Yeah. That's true. Jenny says, yes, all of that is correct. But then you have Lewin who shouts and whines. It's true. He has no dirt. That's his style. And
that's his style.
It worked in dirt.
And I'm sure it's worked on a lot of cases. There's no doubt. He didn't get where he is, on a one case. That was kind of the zenith of his career. This will not be the high point of his career. But yeah, he's a good lawyer. He's not. I don't think he's very likable, because I think when he becomes Bulldog Lewin, which is most of the time, just not a likable character. Even when he's effective.
Ashley Linnell said the prosecutors lost the jury. Here comes Drama, who said she's been on the jury, said she's she doesn't like him. The jurors are there. This is their time. They want to hear a story, and I've said this a number of times when you try to train young people. They want to hear the witness's story. There's one thing to object at certain times, right? But there's another thing to keep objecting when the witness, he said something where the witness said no, but try to explain that the context of the no. And he said, I want everything stricken. Objection, I want everything stricken after no. And the judge is that okay? Because technically he was
Technically,
right usually.
because in theory, then on redirect, you come up and say, yeah, there was his question, and you weren't allowed to explain. Can you go ahead and explain for the jury what you were going to say? It's just that sometimes that's so disconnected from the moment that it's less effective. So, I get it. I understand the objection, but I think Lewin goes way too far with it. And at a certain point, the point doesn't matter because the jury's mad at you. So, whatever point you think you're making, whatever thing you're saving, and remember, the bell's not being unrung. They've heard it. They're going to process it. They're not going to, judge said motion to strike and it was granted. So bing, let me just strike that from my brain. Doesn't happen, So you think you've won. You haven't won.
Yeah, and they heard Relli. All this is the context of Relli. So the only thing they have to worry about is this. I think the only thing the defense would be worried about is if the jury thinks that why would he have a prop gun? It had to be a real gun, But then, what's the backup position? The backup position was Relli said he was in self-defense. He was in self-defense at that point. And gave him the self-defense. So the question is, does the defense ever ask for that? Did they ask for a self-defense? Because Relli said that he was, he was defending himself.
Yeah,
about Rocky.
If Relli was not so bad, I would consider that, but I don't think I would at this point. I don't think I'd even. Yeah, I don't think I'd consider it. No.
Yeah.
I think he gives the jury maybe something to confuse them.
Right.
I don't want that. Here's a thought. Every day we go, we're further removed from the Relli testimony, right? As memorable as it was. In my closing, I would have some clips put together of his very obvious lies.
Right.
You've not been to a shooting range? Definitely haven't been. Bang, bang, go to that clip. I would do that 5 or 6 of the big ones. To reinforce with this jury what they may sort of have forgotten over time.
Right. And California does allow you to do that. They will say that it's not it's not the record, not the official record,
of course,
but they will allow you to do that. They certainly did inspector, even though the judge gets instructed, look, it's not the official record. If you see something in this clip that doesn't, merge with your memory and all that, it's your memory and the official record that we read to it. But they will usually they allow clips. Now the question is going to be though, how long will the judge allow the parties to argue in their closing, right? He's not going to want to let this go, especially when we get to the end of next week with Valentine's Day and a long weekend, right? He wants to let this go.
Well, he's imposed that 90-minute limit for Monday, which I think is really generous considering what he's already done. So maybe the judge is willing to impose some time limits. We'll see. I think it'll depend on how close we get to the weekend next week. If they start wrapping this up Tuesday, probably going to be more liberal. If it's not till Thursday, probably not going to be so liberal then.
Ashland now says, do you think Joe could rest his case after this witness? Interesting thing. Does he want to put, was it Ills? ILLC?
ASAP Ills?
He said he was. Does he want to put some kind of expert on to say, I look at that gun and say, and it's a prop gun or a starter pistol. It doesn't have the indicia of a real gun. He may, he may. I mean, I don't know enough about the case.
I would definitely want Ills on now that with this testimony of Twelvyy, he's become a central character, right? He was always talked about. We heard about him from opening statements. We obviously heard Relli talk a lot about him. I think he's the last player on the scene because the girlfriend didn't show up. The last player that night, I think we want to hear from Ills.
Although the rendition of what Twelvyy gave of Ills, maybe you don't want to have him, cross.
Well, that's a crapshoot. I mean, if in August they talk to Ills like they talked to Mr. Phillips, they may know much better whether he's going to be supportive or not.
Right. So. And it's okay that Kay Schmidt, is it okay that Twelvyy said that probably could tell the difference between a real gun and a prop gun?
Tell the difference, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know the difference. Although he said he just knew that it was different because that's what his understanding was. I don't think because he said he wasn't really familiar with real guns except they were heavier, right?
Yes, he did say that. He said that they're heavier. And because of his history with Rocky, he knew he carried that prop gun. So that night he assumed that was the prop gun.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call Ills. I'm not sure I'd subject them to another day of cross-examination that could only have if there's one tidbit that's different, yeah, I think, well, they know. I mean, look, they know, they've interviewed the witnesses. They know who they're going to call and what they're going to call. And obviously we don't have that indication, although someone said that the defense said they were going to call 11 witnesses. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't hear that either. Maybe they heard Lou Levin and heard 11.
Oh, 11 instead
That's
of Lou
possible.
11.
So we're going to call Lou Levin. They're calling 11? No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's very possible. That's very possible. I'm sure they're going to spend the weekend probably, as I would if this were my case, making a final decision of what you want to do, because things change in trial. I mean, whenever we're
Living,
in
breathing
trial,
thing. Living, breathing thing. Raynette has a good point here that we've talked about before. It just disappeared. But
I'm sorry.
It's back. Are you in
Right.
charge of these comments? Are you flipping through these?
I'm actually flipping through
It's
these
strange that the detectives
Missy's had her hands full today.
didn't speak to the only witnesses before it got to this point. Well, like we said, they clearly didn't speak much to anybody, because I think they felt like this is a nothing case. How much manpower are we going to devote to this case based on what we learned from the scene that night? And I'm thinking that's why they didn't talk to these key witnesses. Key to what?
Yeah, but then who made a decision to bring the case? Then it has to be the DA's office, right? And there we go back.
We have the circle that we've been spinning around. Yeah, we don't have the answer to who was the giant brain that said, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Lockout 999. After observing the Karen Reed trial, the Richard Allen trial, and now the ASAP Rocky trial, I have concluded that law enforcement standards of investigation are low. The case is based on a good DA or bad DA, right? Or we don't know what the charging decisions are, but law enforcement is not what I'd hoped it'd be 30 years after OJ. Although, they don't have budgets either. Remember that. And this was not, no one was killed. And I guess in LA, look,
that's where I'm getting at too. With it, you gotta pick your poison here. Are you going to go after a murder? You're going to go after scraped knuckles, even if a gun was used in the process.
Right. Khadija says, also remember, Relli made a point to tell us about how Ill's jaw, because he hit him. So. So that
there was a whole. What do you think about that whole bit about the lip? You said that you saw his lip was visibly bleeding, and then when there was a video of I guess it was very near, like that night maybe, or the next day, and do you see anything wrong with his lip? Do you see anything? And he said, well, no, I don't know where the cut was. Could have been inside, could have been outside. I don't see that evidence. I know I saw blood that night. And then Lewin asked him, he said, well, didn't I ask you, you said his lip was swollen, right? But I asked you if you saw that his face was swollen. Isn't his lip on his face? That was the Lewin logic.
Yeah.
Said, well,
what I was asking you was.
Would you describe it that way? If somebody had a fat lip swollen, would you say their face was swollen? No. You said their lip was swollen. Right. Yeah. So, but that's not Lewin logic.
Yeah, he'd say the lip was swollen, not the face was swollen. Right. It's also absurd. Relli would say he doesn't know. Oh, yes, you picked this up with a prop gun. Is even when he is in Rocky's music videos using a prop gun. That is so true.
And they said that he testified about that he knows them because we in these videos we use them.
Yeah, and I wonder whether or not they plan to put those videos in showing Relli
the gun use and
using a prop gun. Right.
Yeah, it would explain. Well, that's why I know that he had this prop gun.
That's why I know he had the prop gun.
Still bothers me. The more we talk about the prop gun, the more that its absence bothers me.
Except now it's a starter pistol prop gun.
Well, that I think they're hurting themselves with that confusion, because I've never seen.
There you go.
I've never seen a starter pistol with semi-automatic structure. It's always had the revolver look. So I think to say it's a starter pistol is confusing. I think they ought to just focus semi-automatic prop gun.
But I think what's happening is that everyone's using it interchangeably. So
I know.
When they say starter gun, they don't know it's starter prop gun. A prop gun could be a starter gun because it's not a real gun. Everyone's using it interchangeably.
What happens if they get some jerk in the jury room like I would be? I'd be like, that's not a starter pistol. There's no way it's a starter pistol. So the fact that they're all confused about it makes me less likely to believe anybody's story. It's just, I think they should be very specific about that. It's like comparing a surfboard and a skateboard. They ain't the same thing.
So Jenny says, how common is it to have a clear magazine in a prop gun?
Well, it had to have something in it if it was fired, because you have blanks in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right.
you have to have
That's right.
something in there or it doesn't fire.
Yeah. Prop gun, cap gun didn't resemble a 9mm to me.
Oh.
Very interesting. Again,
Should I show those pictures again that we had
yeah,
earlier?
show pictures. I actually post them on my Twitter account.
Oh, did you?
So, I put them on my Twitter account, so we were discussing them.
Yeah,
That you can buy them for under $40.
Yeah,
so
a couple of them I saw were like $40. Let's see, where did it go? Here we go. There we go. That's a prop gun, and it's a Glock knockoff.
No.
9mm Glock.
Yep. Okay.
And you can see even at the bottom, you can see extending just below is the clip.
Oh, I see.
See,
The
clip
gotcha.
is like right there. Yeah.
And it kind of looks like it's got a little bit of a plastic over here. It's hard to. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's made of cheaper material, which and it will not fire real bullets.
Isn't there a firearms expert on the jury? There was somebody connected to firearms.
I saw a note about that somewhere early on.
Weapons trainer. Yeah, there's a weapons trainer. Right. A weapons
Is that right? Is that what it is? Did we confirm that with Offie, or did somebody else knew that?
Somebody else knew that, and then Jenny says that's confirmed. Somebody else knew that.
Okay. Well, that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Or a pain in the ass, one or the other. Just depends.
I don't know, but they both let the person on. So
yeah, well, I could see how from either side that would be helpful. I wouldn't have a problem with that for either side.
Yeah. So my take today is unless there's a juror in there who's bothered by why would he be carrying just before I do that, Raynette says it's not a gun. I'm not a gun expert, but that doesn't give 9mm even in the video struggle of Rocky putting the firearm away. It doesn't give 9mm looks. Is that what you're saying? That doesn't, in the video struggle of putting it away. He's trying to pick up his pants with his left hand and hold this thing. Yeah. This gun. I mean, he's not playing to kill Relli. Relli's chasing after him. Relli's got him by the thing. Relli's chasing after him. Yeah. It really wasn't.
Relli's so afraid he's chasing after him.
Yeah.
This guy shot at me. I'm going after him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. But obviously they're happy with the jury, and obviously they must be. Both sides must be happy with the jury. Or unhappy. I'm not sure what.
Really?
But
so it was Jenny. Jenny's claiming to know the jury member and confirming that. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, that's great. And that's confirming that was great. Okay, because
does that say it was me or it was Mel? No, it says
Mel.
It was me. Mel.
Can you say Mel, Jenny? It was Mel on I'm Not a Lawyer, but she was there for jury selection. Mel. Okay.
Yeah, and Afton is saying, yeah, it doesn't look like a Glock. It may not be, but I'm just using that Glock picture to show that that's a prop gun too. I think the other one we have is maybe not.
Well, the only thing is because the magazine that they're trying to with the cartridges they're trying to attribute to with the two cartridges that Relli brings in are from Glocks, right? So that's why we talked about the Glock.
Yeah, and they do make the fake Glocks just like the fake semi-automatics, and some do have a hammer, and some do not. It just depends on the structure. Some of the semi-automatics, the Glocks generally don't, but some of the semi-automatics do have a hammer on them.
Yeah.
And again, you can buy them fake. They're fake. They're prop.
Right. Prop fake, whatever. Prop fake starter, whatever it is. So the question is if they don't believe that it's. Let's assume they believe.
Oh, there. I'm clarifying the Jenny. I see here. It's Mel. She has a channel called "I'm Not a Lawyer." But
okay,
that's that, and she was in the courtroom. Thank you, Jenny, for clarifying my mass confusion. Okay. So very interesting after the fact to see how that jury member affected deliberations and the verdict.
Yeah, and my 4 girls, I purchased a pellet gun at Walmart. It looks like a real gun,
yeah.
And Raynette said Wally's testimony makes more sense after hearing Twelvyy on the stand. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think so. The question, even look, if you don't think that he fired this gun, even though somebody called 911 and said shots fired, are they related? Are they not? I mean, this is downtown This is LA.
It is LA.
Right?
Yeah, I would like to know. I don't think they have a shot spot there like they do in Chicago. That's one of those audio systems that hears gunshots and reports them to the cops.
Right.
But I would love to sync up those times. The video this woman's 911 call. Remember the 7th floor wannabe actress?
Yeah.
Was there a sufficient gap, or can they truly link those time periods up so that when she called and reported it was within a reasonable time of what the video suggests the shots were fired?
Except that when the cops come and they said there's no indication that any shots were fired.
Well, yeah, that's a different issue. One thing I was a little disappointed in with the cops, it was 18 minutes to respond to a shots fired call. 18 minutes, and then 7 of them show up. Were they all at the local, I was going to say Dunkin' Donuts, but they really don't have those out there. Were they all at the local Krispy